Not too long ago, I was taking a walk in the park. I was walking along a usual path, listening to music, just enjoying the vibe. As I approached the meeting point where the wooded area met the lakeside area, I felt my intuition tell me to sit down. I noticed there was a bench and I was getting ready to sit there, but I started to wonder, why am I sitting? I usually walk along this path and feel fine. I didn't feel tired. It wasn't especially hot that day, so it really didn't make sense to me. But nonetheless, I sat down. As I sat there, I started to wonder, what am I supposed to be looking for? I look around, I don't see anything that's really standing out to me. So I sat and sat some more. And after a couple of minutes, I did see a man approaching from my left. And as he got closer, he turned and looked at me and smiled and kept on jogging. So I realized, okay, I guess there's nothing about him that I was supposed to notice. And then I could start to feel doubt creep in. I started to question whether or not I started to believe that my intuition is telling me things that it's actually not. But just as I was about to stand up, I felt my intuition again tell me to stand, take a couple of steps, turn around, and take a picture of the bench. And I did. Later on, when I looked back at that picture, it all started to become clear to me. I started to understand what I couldn't articulate in that moment. When I was sitting on that bench at that meeting point, I had on my right the wooded area. And for me, that represented and felt like some of the dark, challenging times of my life. Times when I had to put one foot in front of the other, and I really couldn't see where this road would lead. Yes, there were tall trees, tall, powerful trees, and I did feel protected. But still, it can feel very scary. And sometimes I could feel alone because just like some of those challenging times, when I'm walking through that wooded path, sometimes there aren't other people that are walking in that same area. I also thought about the open lakeside area and how once I crossed that midpoint, I felt like I was in the clear. I felt lighter. It felt a little bit less scary. Things seemed visible. I was also visible to other people. So what I understood about that bench at that particular spot was that it's important for me to look back, to really acknowledge all of the things that I've made it through. Times that seemed a little scary, but I just kept going until I finally reached that point when things got lighter and clearer. It also reminded me to really be grateful for being able to make it through some of those times. Being grateful for protection and support. Some that I'm able to see and some that I can't. That particular spot means a lot to me. And that picture, having that picture to anchor what I saw and anchor a feeling made all the difference for me to understand more about myself. I wonder what you'll discover about yourself the next time you pause to notice. Thank you for spending time in the studio. I'm Tiara. I'll see you next time.